Hey everybody, welcome to Half Beard Sud's Heads Up. Today we are checking out The Age of Decadence by Iron Tower Studios and Torque. It's a curious title, coming out, it's been in early access for a while, coming out next week. It's a very much an old school RPG with a lot of focus on depth and multiple paths through quests. So, why don't we just jump into it? I've got to save it, we're going to start a new game, and kind of, show what character development is like. I'm gonna be upfront. I don't actually really like this game personally. It's not really to my taste, but it's the sort of thing I can see a lot of other people liking. So yeah, start off, you can pick what you look like, but you also pick a background. These backgrounds determine kind of your general skills off the bat. It's very open. You can kind of build yourself in any way you want, but your background is going to determine. I think it determines your opening quest, as well as your general opening skills. So, a bunch of different things here. Assassin, thief, Praetor is kind of like a nobleman's who got a little bit of martial skill, a little bit of diplomacy, that kind of stuff. Lore master, no magic in this game. He's got alchemy and smarts. Merchant, mercenary, fairly self-explanatory. Drifter's just jack of all trades. But the guy I like to play is the Grifter. He's your confidence man. He's terrible in a fight. We're probably going to show maybe one fight, and I'm going to lose it immediately, because this guy is built to die in a fight right off the bat. But he is a supreme talker. He gets the gullible people to give him his money, give him their money just because, fuck it. That's what he does. He's able to do whatever he wants because he's able to talk his way out of that situation. That's my kind of character. Fuck around with these buttons a little bit. Be like, yeah, that's what this guy looks like. Sure, why not? Yeah, aside from just opening quests, it also kind of determines how these special stats, essentially, like Fallout style special stats, start off. You can see they have bonuses to different things. And I can still play around if I want. If I want to make a very uncharismatic grifter, I can do that. I'm not going to, though. I'm going to stick with these base stats. And it also determines, you can see what's changing there, which points you have up here will determine how many points you have down here. And that affects the two different skill trees. There is the combat skill tree, which is giving you proficiency in different weapons, and having proficiency in weapons, as you can see, will increase your abilities with those weapons. In this case, if I pump up my axe ability, I get the ability, I have a better chance to do a savage blow that does more damage, or if I power up my crossbow, I have a better chance to knock my opponent off his feet and send them flying, that kind of stuff. Also, I can get some defensive stuff, dodging, blocking, critical strikes, whatever. And then there's civil skills, which is things like being able to impersonate someone, or being able to persuade somebody through talking, or being good at stealing, or lockpicking, or knowing things. Lore is a big part of this game. So, yeah, I'm gonna put most of my points into this. 4 levels into that, 4 levels into that, put 1 level into that, and then 1 level into, let's say, trading. And then I'm also going to drop a couple points into dodge, and 1 into dagger, just for the hell of it. And we'll start this game off. I guess I haven't discussed the premise yet. So, as I said, it's kind of CRPG sort of thing. As you can tell, it's definitely got a Roman Empire kind of vibe. But what's interesting is that it actually takes place in the post-apocalypse, technically. But instead of the post-apocalypse happening in the future, when man has all sorts of crazy technology, it's happened at the end of the Roman Empire, at the fall of the Roman Empire. And that's why all the technology is that way. So you're kind of dealing with a world on the brink of destruction, but with this old-school type of technology and culture, which is an interesting thing. It's not the sort of thing you see very often. Anyways, the game starts in a small place called Terran, border town, ruled by House Daratan, which is one of the more powerful houses around. And, yeah, you're there to do whatever you're there to do, as your background implies. As a grifter, I'm there to just, go fuck some people over, get their money. Start off in an inn. Here's this inn. Talk to the storyteller. He'll give you the whole legend of this universe, which is basically, I'm going to give you a short version. The Empire was thriving. It was all peaceful. Everybody loved it. And then a group of savages / demons came from somewhere. I forget what they're called. They're called the Quintari or something. They were going to destroy the Empire, and then the Empire asked their Magi for help. The Magi petitioned these gods or whatever to come down. The gods came down, stuff happened, and then I think the demons still won. And that's how that happened. And then post-apocalypse. Anyways, our quest starts with Petrus. He's our buddy, an old hand at the Grifton, and we're both here to make our money. While we're talking, this guy comes in. He says, "I'm a rich person. Send up someone to come look at my goods and tell me how rich they are." And then my buddy's like, hey, how about instead of waiting for that rich guy looking stuff person to show up, why don't you go pretend to be a rich guy looking stuff person, aka a lore master? And, you know, I'm gonna go do that. He tells me to be a pretentious motherfucker and gives me some clothes. And then this is where the game this is how you play as this character, as a grifter, is you do stuff like this. In this case, I'm going to impersonate a lore master. He tells me, oh, I've got a little map here, why don't you take a look at it? And he says, I bet it's super valuable. I'm like, oh, why do you think it's valuable at all? Maybe it's a piece of crap. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is a piece of crap. You should give it to me for free. And, you know, you can kind of screw around with him this way. In this case, oh, the Thorgoth steels are common as dirt. I'm not going to say that, though. Instead, I'm going to say, you wouldn't have called for a lore master if you weren't sure it wasn't worth nothing. And he goes, well, yeah, whatever, fine. Tell you what, you take this map from me and research it, and when you give me a detailed report, I'll pay you. I trust you're trustworthy, and the innkeeper knows where you are. And I go, oh, yeah, no, the innkeeper totally knows where I am. And then I'm going to fucking leave. Take his map, never come back. Leave him in a ditch. And that's how you play as the grifter. If I was playing as the lore master, I would probably genuinely be doing that quest. I would probably be going, yeah, I know what this is. This is super cool. Here, I'll give you this much money for it. And then go to Lord Antitus, who is the ruler of House Daratan, I talked about earlier. They rule over this town, their base is here. And, you know, go on with the main quest, which involves those gods I talked about earlier, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm managed to get into in my time with this game, because it's kind of dense. So yeah, so I've done that. And I've been told to go talk to Feng, who's the actual lore master in town, who will tell me what the real deal is with that map. So let's pop out here, open our map. The movement in this game is kind of shitty, so thankfully the fast travel is really good. You can kind of just, wherever you see a thing, you can just click over to it and you're there. The way the movement works is that it is, you know, it's you know, old school style, where right click to move, you're moving to a place, double click to run. But because it's not a like straight image, like a screen style, like with Fallout, with the original Fallout or something like that, it can be easy to lose yourself behind the camera, like this. Like I can barely see my dude. You can move into a place where you can't see him, and you know, you're kind of expected to move things around. So that's a bit of a bummer. I'm also gonna say I don't think the game looks great. Like just the quality of some of the geometry and assets looks a little, you know, a little low res, little like not little poly. It's kind of not great. This looks like a game that was maybe made 10 years ago. So, that's the thing. Anyways, we come to Fang, we're like, hey, look at this map. And he goes, oh man, this map is so valuable. If you want me to look at it though, it's gonna cost you $50. And I'm gonna say, oh, hold on, why am I not able to? Huh, that's weird. I should be able to persuade him otherwise. I don't have the money. Well, hold on, let's try this again. Oh, right. Go to my character menu. What's going on here? I should have more than enough persuasion to be like, hey man, don't you try to pull one over on me. I'm gonna add one to Streetwise. Is what I'm gonna do. And I'll put Streetwise. Now let's try doing that again. So about that map, and it's gonna say, oh god, it's so valuable. But now, because I'm a grifter, and because I have a little bit of Streetwise, I can go, hey man, don't you try to fool me. I know how this thing works. I made the game. Don't you play the game on me. And he goes, fine. $20 and I'll tell you we'll pay you $100 for it. I go, fine. Here's the money. And yeah, then that happens. And then he goes on about the thing. I've also just started to say this thing. He's also just offered me a new quest that I kind of clicked through, where another lore master is coming to town, and he doesn't want the competition. So he's asking me to get rid of this other lore master. For 50 Imperials, I could do it, or I could say, I wonder what you'll do once the new lore master settles in. I've heard it's hard to start begging at such an old age. And he says, oh, well, fine, I'll give you an extra 10. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for him. So that's another quest I can do. And it kind of goes on like that. I mean, this is where the quests get very open-ended. So this guy in the inn, let's go deal with him, just because it's the thing we just started. Go back to the inn. Go here. Go in the inn. And we're going to go find this rival lore master, who's this dude right here. Say hello. And we need to figure out what we want to do. Lord Antitus sent me to escort you. Where am I going to take him? I could take him to Lord Antitus, I could rat out Feng, or I could take him to an abandoned house. I'm going to take him to an abandoned house. Now, here's where things get interesting. If I wanted to, I could go the combat way. I could murder this guy. Or, I could try to threaten him. Or, I could persuade him and say, you're not getting it. Someone will kill you if you hang out here. Don't hang out here. And he goes, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. And he'll leave. And now I can get my money from Feng. That guy doesn't have to be dead, and he'll be our friend later on. Like, all that kind of stuff is part of this game. You can play it how you need to, which I really appreciate. You can be a combat guy, you can be a talkie guy. The only thing is, this is not the kind of, this is not a Bethesda RPG where you can do everything at once. You can be the talkie guy, and the combat guy, and the sneaky guy. No, if you're gonna be, you gotta pick one, you gotta stick with it. You can be the talkie guy, but then when you get into a fight, you will be murdered. You will be murdered incredibly hard, really quick. In fact, I will go show that. Cassius is no longer a problem. He also gave me a ring, which is nice. That belonged to General Galbo. And he says, give it to the Lord Antitus as a tribute. Don't wear it yourself, because it actually does nothing. I'm gonna say, yeah, cool, I can do that. And I can also ask him about his past, if I want to. And he will give me a whole bunch of stuff. He'll tell me a whole bunch of things that can be useful, but I don't really care about it. I've also gained more points, because you can see here as well, I get a new insight into liberal arts, because I completed that quest in a non-confrontational way, because I did it in a very sneaky, persuasive, talky kind of way. I got points specifically for raising up my talky smart stats, which I think is a really cool idea. You're also getting general skill points as you complete quests, and you can kind of put those together. I'm going to drop a couple points into lore here, because lore is a nice thing to have on hand. What I got a bit of streetwise, I got a bit of persuasion, I got a bit of impersonate, I got a bit of lore. We're good. I got no martial ability, so that sucks. And I was going to show how the combat system works, because the combat system here is actually fairly in-depth. It's the funny thing where, if you play this game like I'm playing it, as a talkie guy, you could quite possibly never see combat. Or you see a little bit of it, at least so far. Maybe you get team members later on that change this, but for the most part, as this character, I played like a couple hours straight. And I never saw mandatory combat. I would get into fights, but I'd immediately die. Like, the way to succeed in this game as this character is to not ever engage in fighting. So, we're gonna go to the Merchant's Plaza. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go like this, and I'm going to save real quick. Yeah. Trouble. It's hard to type when you're doing stuff. I've also got the mic cord in the way. I'm just making excuses. Regardless, I've made a save. Trouble is ahead. I'm gonna go show you how the combat works. Go over here. We're gonna go talk to Militides, who is another sneaky griftery guy. He's saying, hey man, I got into town. They're being a little bit of a dick. I've got all these really nice weapons and armor. They're all works of art. Unfortunately, I can't open up a shop until I settle a dispute with the commercium, and I can't settle it until I have some money. So how about you buy my super amazing, awesome goods for nothing? And I can go, okay, I'll take a look. Or I can say, that sounds like a good deal. Maybe in a little bit too good to be true. And he goes, you know what? Well, I'm totally being up on. I'm a good guy. Why don't you come hang out with me? I'll buy you a beer. It'll be great. And I go, okay. Let's go hang out. And then, you know, bad guys. We fall into his house, there's bandits in there, and now we have to fight. Now, I could try to run. I'm not fast enough to run. Because my guy, you know, he's a talker. He's not a thief. He's not a runner. So, now we gotta fight these guys. And unfortunately, my guy can't fight. He's weak and shitty. But this will let me show the combat system. So they come in, they do their thing. I can, First things first, go to my inventory here. I can equip a weapon. You know what? I'm gonna equip these clothes because why not? Oh, I can't change clothes in combat. As a grifter, you end up having a lot of changes of clothes on you because different clothes will impact different relationships. So, you know, showing up as a noble, which is these clothes, might help me in specific situations, whereas showing up as a lore master will help me in other situations. It's, you know, interesting. Anyways, here we are in combat. I've got my knife out. Combat works very much like the old school Fallout stuff, where it's based on AP. Moving around will cost AP. You can see here, it's attack of opportunity if I try to move, and it will cost a 2 AP to move. Or I'm going to attack these guys, and there are a number of different attacks I can do. If I right-click here, you can see all the different kinds of attacks. I can try to throw a guy, I can do feints, I can do whirlwinds, I can do all sorts of stuff. I'm going to try to feint. I'm going to feint this guy. And you see you've got a chance of how you might do it, what the damage is going to be, what his defense is going to be, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to feint. The guy says, no. What are you doing? Try it again. And I keep doing like this. You can get other weapons in these slots. You can get shields, throwing weapons, all that kind of stuff. You know, there's a lot of things you can do in combat. And it's, you know, a fairly decent, complex system. There's a big tutorial you can do at the start if you want to. Oh, I did it. I switched places with him. Crazy. And I can't do anything else. So now I'm over here, and my combat turn. But realistically, if you're playing the character the way I'm playing him, there's a very good chance you'll never see this. You'll just die. So let's load the game. Trouble ahead. Load it up. And see what's what. This is gonna crash again, isn't it? No, that's cool. I had some problems yesterday when I was recording this where it kept crashing on me whenever it would try to load in a new area. So I was a little worried there that would happen. Didn't, thankfully. Alright. Back to the palace. So yeah, combat system is really in depth. That's all you're gonna see of it. I'd like to show more, but this is not the character for it, and I don't feel like building a combat dude. So there you go. Let's go show you how a really combat-oriented quest, though, can be solved with talking. Because that's what I find interesting. What makes this game really good, but not really my thing, I guess, is that it is so well designed in the idea that you can complete almost all of these quests through talking, through using your stats and being smart and properly manipulating a situation. So, right now, I can talk to this guy. Oh! Hold on, what happened? Apparently I'm plotting against him, and I can try to persuade him. And I guess I persuaded him, cool. And then, okay, I wasn't paying attention when I was clicking. Regardless, I accidentally angered the Emperor, Delar, but I've managed to smooth things over. I just gotta work with Delar to show that I'm a cool guy, which is what I was planning to do in the first place. And right now he's saying, alright, I need you to go to this outpost in the wilds. A rival house Aurelian is digging into some ruins. There's bad stuff there. We don't want them there. They got a lore master coming. Go impersonate him and maybe do some stuff. And I'm gonna say, yeah, I can do that. And he says, cool, you can do that. I'm also gonna say, is there anything else I can help with? And he goes, you know what? Bandits. They captured one of our nobles. Go find out what they want. I gotta say, they didn't tell you what they want. And he goes, well, somebody wandered into town saying they had a noble and they had some demands. And then we killed him. And then we found out somebody was actually missing, so we're idiots. And now we're not gonna go out there, so we're gonna send you out there so you can die for us. And I go, yeah, alright, I can do that. Let's go do that. Let's go to the world map, and I will start with the outpost. I'm going to do both these quests. These are both quests that you would normally solve in a more combat-oriented fashion. You would go, take out the bandits, survive that fight, or you would go deal with House Aurelian and kind of try not to deal with their stuff and just kind of take them down so you can stop their machinations in the ruins. I'm going to get rid of both of these quests through talking. I'm going to go talk to this guy here. So we're kind of walking up on the camp. I'm going to do dress as a lore master and approach the man. I'm gonna go full-on confidence man here. It says, hey, what are you doing here? Turn around, leave. This is House Aurelian's territory. You're not supposed to be here. And I go, hey man, I'm Sorep. I heard you called. And the guy looks at me and goes, I guess you're probably right. Where's your escort? And I go, well, we were attacked by raiders. And I escaped. And he goes, what the fuck? Raiders don't leave people alone, especially not little niggly nerds hanging out with their books in the library. And I go, you know what? I'm a lore master, man. I'm like Indiana Jones mixed with the fucking devil. I got it out there like no problems. And he goes, oh, okay. And lets me in the mine. And now, look at some machines, figure it out. We see what's going on. We see that this is a machine that is an old ore smelting factory. I'm going to put the relic they gave me inside. And we find out that it's got fire elementals hanging out in there. That's what this does. It's a mantra for commanding fire elementals. Now, I could perform the rite as necessary, complete the ritual, or I could use my knowledge of lore to overheat the smelter, which is what I'm going to do. As I close the valves and levers, the machine groans, fire goes everywhere, molten metal is all over the place, people are dying, and I'm going to tell this guy, oh man, problems are happening, watch the dials for me. Take the fuck off. Go outside and go, hey, everyone go inside. There's a miracle! And then they all die. The mountain explodes, and the entrance is sealed with molten metal. And earth. And there's no survivors, and no one knows I was here. So I managed to do the sneaky thing that kills everybody while being completely unknown and leaving no trace through talking. Without a hint of combat. Didn't even need to pull my knife. That's why this game's kind of interesting. Because you can solve a problem that way. Let's go do the bandit camp thing too, because why not? Hold on, it's world map here. Yeah, turn to Delar. Take a second to load up. There's some weird visual stuff here. You can see that Super VGA driver thing. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, the way this game loads is kind of weird. So I'm going to talk to him first and be like, oh no, one of the machines exploded. It's a pity. And he goes, well, that is an unfortunate accident. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So now I can go meet Antitus if I want. And talk to him about the map. And he says, well, okay, swear fealty to me. And I'm going to go, I was told that you'd want to see them. Show him the map. And he goes, oh man, a map? I believe this is attached to the prophecy of my house. Yada, yada, yada. Something, something, something. Stupid prophecy about gods or whatever. And, you know, he explains it all to me over a lot of text. This game has a fuck ton of text. If you like backstory, this will provide it. And then he says, hey, go to Matarin, which is another city. Find my buddy Domitus. He led one of the expeditions to find this temple that's on this map. And kind of see if you can figure out what's going on. I want to get into this place and use the crazy super weapons to reestablish dominance. I can also say this other thing. I can say, oh, I can do this thing with this ring. I believe in destiny. This ring has been in my family for generations, given to my forefathers for the safekeeping of my General Galbo. It is without a doubt one of the most important relics of the Empire, and its reappearance is a great omen. It's yours. Uh-oh. Delar asked Cassius to join us because it's taking any worse. But Cassius is gone. Wait, why is Cassius here? And he goes, oh, this ring's not genuine. This looks like a piece of crap. There's no patina. You were supposed to believe this ring is hundreds of years old. The runes are gibberish. I dare say there's nothing magic about this ring at all. I thought I got rid of you. I'm going to ask how many magic rings he's handled. None. Magic rings aren't exactly common. Then it's fair to say you wouldn't recognize one. You chump. It's a magical ring. Do you expect it to age? I mean, come on now. I like that I'm just arguing with this guy for no reason. Also, what the hell? I thought Cassius was gone. I thought I got rid of him. I call shenanigans. Let's go back to Feng. Tell him the ring thing didn't work out. Where's Feng? Is he gone? Oh, I think I ratted out Feng earlier. That's what happened. So I accidentally ratted out Feng. Oh, I know what happened when I told... Oh, I think what happened is when I told Cassius to be gone, he actually went and talked to the palace guard. Oh, that was my own fault. Look around a little bit. If you look at some of these documents, you'll sometimes get a bit of interesting stuff. Sometimes you'll get lore points. You'll get like I've gotten stat points for looking at stuff before. Anyways, that's a bummer. I guess Feng has been deported because I tried to get rid of Cassius and I failed. That's a pity. I can also go, if I want to, I can go do that bandit thing, which I will, because why not? I'm not going to play too much more of this, just because a lot of this is story-based. There's a lot of reading and text. It's just, it does not play well for video. And, you know, it's the sort of thing that if you're interested in it, you should go check it out yourself. I'll go talk to the bandit over here. Go over here. Go talk to this guy. He looks like he's in charge. He's got a cape. And he says, yeah, I'm in charge. Several raiders in battered armor acknowledge my presence to go, hey, our captain's over there. And I'm going to say, I'm here to negotiate about the prisoner. And he goes, well, he was walking around alone. We took care of him. But then people shot at us, so, you know, 1,000 coins. I'll pass on the message. But now I'm curious, how does an Imperial Guard, because this guy used to be, become a raider? And then he gives me a big, long fucking story about how he found the mouth to hell, basically. And that comes in handy later. Again, like, this is a big, deep RPG with a ton of text. If I was playing this by myself, I'd be doing a lot more actual reading of this text, but, you know, when you're playing these sort of games on video, it's just not interesting to watch someone read reams and reams and reams of text, so, no. Let's go talk to Delar. Tell him about the bandits. Say, hey, they wanted $1,000. So I went to the bandit camp, and he goes, oh, and then say, they want money, they want $1,000. And he goes, well, fuck that. I'm not giving $1,000. And I can say, you know what? I know you're worried about looking weak. The bandit leader understands that. He's not asking for a ransom. He's asking for a reward for helping a noble. You both get out of here. You know, no face lost. Honor kept. And he goes, fine. Here's $1,000. Don't steal it. And I can go take it back to the bandit, and then that stuff can happen. Or I can try to steal it. I guarantee you that won't go well. Go back to the bandit camp real quick. And after we do this, I think we'll end it. That's Age of Decadence. It's very deep. It's got an interesting setting. I like how committed it is to allowing for very varied, wide characters, but at the same time making you focus. You're not allowed to build a super character that can do whatever you want it to. You have to build a talker, or a smart guy, or a martial guy, or a steely guy. You can't do everything. I really appreciate that aspect of it. So that's good. I think if you're into these kinds of games, this one's worth a look. I'm not quite sure how much it costs. Let's go take a look at the store page real quick. Go here. Where's our store page? Go look at Steam. People are sending me messages. That's not cool. Why is that not going away? Let's see. Go look at the community hub. That'll do it. Go look at store page. 30 bucks. Maybe a tad pricey. Maybe a tad pricey. But not too bad. I think if you're into this sort of thing, then maybe that's what you're willing to pay. It seems like it's very large and deep, so that's useful at the very least. Yeah, I don't really much else to say about this. I've kind of been rambling for a while now. This is Age of Decadence. It's $30. It's on Steam. I don't think it necessarily looks the greatest visually, but the gameplay is on point if you're into that sort of, if you're into what it's putting down. So, as always, I've been your host, Halfbeard, and we're out of here. Later, guys.